As you might notice today, we're rather professional. We're corporate Goths today.
As opposed to
normal, everyday, not work-appropriate Goths. Because today we're going to talk about being an adult and getting a job.
Being an adult is not fun.
And still having integrity, so you don't need to be super normal or be anything you're not.
Or a corporate sellout, as Joe would say.
But you still have to do some things in order to like meet them in the middle. And first because it's most transparent, we'll talk about the way we look because, like Chloe, you could say why you chose what you're...
Well, I guess the first obvious thing about me is like, I think I can pull off being not terribly alternative easily, or more easily than at least you, because I have eyebrows, I don't have any piercings, and my hair's not any kind of an odd color, so I think it's not terribly hard for me to look normal. If I was actually going for a job interview right now, I'd have a lot different makeup on, maybe, obviously. But I just pulled my hair back.
Keep it neat and clean.
The only kind of worry that is I do have a tattoo on the back of my neck, so I'd probably have to. I mean, this is pretty high. The collar on this is pretty high. I think my tattoo's mostly covered. I mean, you can even check, but it's the only other.
I wouldn't really see it.
It's tough. You have to just kind of, like, you know, maybe you have a friend or somebody kind of look you over, look around. Somebody's behind you, somebody's next to you. I mean, if you're looking for like a pretty high-profile job, or at least, you know, more so than
conservative than you might normally.
Yeah, like more so than just, you know, your minimum wage job, you might want to just at least have another opinion involved. But you know, you just want to kind of cover, I think, anything that's blatantly alternative. So to me, I think my blatantly alternative thing is the fact that I have, for all intents and purposes, white and black hair. You know, it's like that's not really normal. So.
We also have like a nicer outfit than you might normally, like a lacy, pretty, but still conservative. For me, normally I have my hair in those extensions and the pigtails, and this is down so you don't see the shavy bits, and it's a fairly normal hairstyle. And these glasses, which are very, very fake seeing glasses, are necessary when you have, I still have it in, but normally I take it out, the bridge piercing, because it effectively hides it, especially when you have it out, so no one can really tell. And obviously my lip piercings are out and my septum's out. And you try to do eyebrows as natural as possible, but those are kind of always going to stand out. I mean, it's better to use eyeshadow than liquid, like I have liquid on right now. And as far as gauges, I either use spirit gum to sort of tack them back, or tan gauges. So that way it's a little less obvious. And I mean, you can put your hair down so it covers it. And I have also, we're going to talk about covering up tattoos and stuff. So if you can, like she was saying, wear something that covers it, like this is a high collar so it covers this tattoo.
Yeah, just, I mean, think about it. Just think about where your tattoos are and think about what's the best way you can cover them. But also, I mean, think about it, if you're going to get that job,
you're going to have to
always cover that tattoo. So
or maybe it's about the first impression.
Yeah.
So once maybe you warm up and you can see your comfort level at your job if a tattoo is allowed to show or not, or you're going to have to always dress that way.
Yeah, so you might want to think about that, you know, in some ways. It's like, if you're going to... Even if some jobs I think even have uniforms, so you have to think, you know, if I have to wear this uniform, am I gonna be able to accommodate for it? Or if I have to work outside, and like my friend Shannon, before she had her baby, she had to work outside, and she lives in Arizona, and her job required her to cover all of her tattoos, and she has 2 sleeves, or a sleeve and a half. So she actually had to wear long sleeves with slum bowls in them because she has tattoos on her hands. So she had a job where she had to wear long sleeves outside in Arizona heat. So you have to, you know, you really have to think when you're applying for a job, and when you're even getting tattoos.
To begin with, and it's not really something we think about. We think about this is just being true to ourselves, and then you don't really think about the long run. But I mean, that's the repercussion that you have to consider. It's to be an adult.
Sure. I mean, you know, if you want, of course, there's situations when you can have a job. My job that I have currently, that I'm currently not going to have very soon, I can wear whatever I want for my job, and that's made me very lazy and very spoiled in some respects, because I'm like, I can wear whatever I want. So now when I'm looking for a job, I had to go through all my clothes, I had to really think about, you know, where my tattoos were, and then, you know, I just got recently, like, new tattoos, so I bought, some opaque stockings.
The nude. If you have any tattoos, you can, an option is to have nude stockings or something that can cover them. Like you found some peach colored?
Dance stockings, like Capezio or Dance Skin, or they're thicker than normal tights. I haven't really given it a good trial run on a big tattoo, but in theory it should at least obscure it, and, you know, maybe you can wear something that's not going to show it so well.
I think that it's like, to look like you're trying at least. Like the same thing with an interview. You might not have to always for your job wear a suit, but if you look like you're trying at least for your interview, so like even if you see a tattoo showing through but you're wearing opaque stockings so it looks like you're trying, it looks like you're trying. That's the point.
Yeah.
And then pulling back for a second about how the reason why we're even doing this is because we both have gone through some job troubles. I recently, after 6 months, finally got a job, so it's just tried and true. And Chloe's about to lose one, and now is in the job market again.
Yep, after 6 years, I'm losing my job in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
It happened in the same week.
So either I'm going to go head in and start my photography business and do amazing at that, or back to the corporate world I go.
So this is very relevant to right now for us.
Because within a 3-week period, she got a job, and I, for all intents and purposes, lost my job, which is crazy because it's always been, you know, not like that. She's always been in school, and I've always been working, and now we're...
But now we're giving Chloe tips to get a job, guys.
Yeah.
But also, I already took this off because with the glasses, I'm totally not used to it. Like, after my interview and after I got the job, I was like, I admitted to having the piercing because I can't look at I'm there, like, 8 to what was 15 hours a day at one point. I can't sit there with fake glasses on giving me a headache all day long, so that's something that also, I mean, it depends on what your situation is. Okay, so another point that I wanted to touch on was for your personal life, you have to do very much like a Clark Kent kind of a thing, where
absolutely.
Superman by night and Clark Kent by day, and it there's a challenge where like everyone kind of feels like a sellout, or you're like, where's the line of integrity? And you need to find a place where you can still be yourself during the workday, but be buttoned up and conservative if you have to be, if that's the type of job path you're choosing, and where you can still let go and have fun after.
Right, and if you're making more money, you get more money to buy better goth clothes, so...
Exactly. You can look prettier at night and not look all shambled and like you're wearing the same things for 8 years because you actually have money. It'll be nice.
And I mean, you know, basically the standard most goth thing about being a goth is that you just wear black. And you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing black in the corporate world.
Yeah, and look, this has like a nice brocade going on, and it's a suit top, yeah, and it does the job.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's definitely a thing. Like, you know, to me, lace, like, black lace is one of my favorite things, and black lace also is a lot of other normal people's favorite thing, or, like, they like to wear. And, you know, even if you want to go out of the black a little bit, you know, maybe go for, like, a blood red, or a dark purple,
a crimson,
or
gray.
Purple, it's not, like, that hard to go. I mean, yes, we all like black, but we all like other colors, too. Let's be real here. There's nobody who's like, I only like black, and everything else is black. So, you know, maybe just think about, you know, the other colors that you like too. And maybe you wear black pants and a dark red top. And maybe wear black pants and a dark purple top. Or maybe wear a gray skirt and a black top. Maybe just change it up a little bit. It's not the end of the world if you have to wear something more plain than you normally wear, if nothing else.
And you can always in time slowly warm up to, like, if you I have a creative job, I've already, you know, taken the glasses off and brought in some desk props, like my Spock and my Tentacles. Like, you can get a feel for things and what's...
yeah, maybe just slowly introduce little things. I mean, I wouldn't maybe recommend that you dyed your hair bright green again.
Yeah, or came in, like, with the flip.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not, but maybe over time, maybe, you know, but maybe a tattoo peeks out one day, and then maybe nobody notices, maybe they do, maybe they don't care, then you just maybe a little bit by little bit, so you test the waters and
dip the toe.
Hopefully you don't get fired for testing waters.
Okay, so some advice for actual, like, interviews and stuff?
Just in case you're looking, and this is really not relevant to our channel or to being goth, but just in case you're already stumbled upon this.
We're on the topic of getting jobs and corporate goth and all that.
It's pretty much governed both of our lives for the past couple of weeks.
It's been a thing.
Well, for you a little bit longer.
We both have these cute
we have our little portfolios. I had to be the asshole who bought the one that...
She has the cute girly one, but it's still kind of,
I liked it because it had these things. Oh, it actually goes this way. I liked it because it had these, I don't know why. This was the only one that was different.
So profesh, so adult. We are adult, okay. And then you could put like your little resume and all that over there, and she has hers in there.
Yep.
And okay, so one thing I want to talk about that I got drilled into me at school, which actually was the one thing that impressed people, even though I didn't do so well for like 6 months or so getting a job, sort of, was something called a leave behind. And even though we're in the age where everyone has a website and everyone has a digital copy of everything, it really, to have something nicely presented, and even if you're not like a designer. You can have kits to do this too. But having a DVD and like some sort of a leave behind. I'm not going to show off my nameage, even though it's easy enough to find if you know me. But I have a DVD and all this goody stuff, and I mean I have an animation type position, so it makes sense for me to have a demo reel. But you could on a DVD have just your resume and any past work that you can possibly include, and it is just a nice thing, that physical leave behind that they'll remember you by, that you'll stand out from. And also it's good to have a Facebook that is locked the fuck down.
Oh yes.
And if you want to have social networking stuff, send them to your LinkedIn, not your Facebook, silly butts.
Yeah, and you know what? Like what I recently did, Google your name. Like whatever your resume says.
Reputation.com.
Google.
I'm nude on the internet. Reputation.com.
Is that really a website?
Yes.
Oh god, I didn't know that. Well, what I did recently is I Googled my legal name, and I looked for everything that could link me to my photography, my modeling, or just anything that was really anything about me. Like, so there happens to be another girl who has the exact same name as me who lives in Tennessee, and she loves horses. So when you Google my name, most of what comes up is horses. And the only so it's like horse girl number 3 is like my husband's like cancer fund thing that I had set up. So that's not the worst thing for a job to find, really. And there's I think maybe one picture from like, if you Google like images, there's maybe one picture from our wedding that comes up.
That's cute.
It's not bad. So I had found 2 things that connected my modeling name to my real name, and I got them both deleted. And so when you Google search,
That's cool.
unless you really, really are trying to find something on me, you probably won't. So I mean, you want to put a little effort into that, especially if you're in a situation like one of us, where you're involved in, a
double life.
Because even while you're a nude model, I'm shooting her nude.
Yeah, exactly.
So you might find pictures of her on my stuff of her naked.
Even if for someone, because that might be something that a normal alternative person might not relate to, if you're not a model or a nude model or a nude model photographer.
Right.
That in general, though, having a nightlife or going out in general might not be something that's appealing to an employer. Like, they don't want to see you pictures of you drunk with your friends, or pictures with you like at a club looking promiscuous and whatnot with your half-dressedness going on.
Yeah, I mean, like, you should really look into your Facebook settings. Like, for me, if you type my name, if you're not my friend and you're nobody, and you go to Facebook and you type in my legal name, my Facebook profile does not even come up in the search. So, like, you cannot even find that I have a page. The only thing you could probably find is if you knew my model name, you could probably find my like page, but, just go in the Facebook privacy settings, set everything to even like, there's people who can send you friend requests, set it to only friends, or set it to only friends of friends, or whatever, or acquaintances of friends.
I've given up the hope that if someone tries, they will find it out for me, but you try to do your best.
Yeah, just don't make it obvious. Don't leave it. Don't let it be the first thing on the Google search that you're a nude model.
Enough. Yeah. And another thing is to have the picture that you do have as your main, everything else locked down, but the picture you do have to be as conservative as possible, which still being you. I have like a very normal looking headshot that I then use for my LinkedIn and for everything else that's for my Facebook default while I'm looking for a job. So
well, mine you can't even find my Facebook, so.
Off of it, okay.
You literally can't even find it. Like, if I send you the link to my, like, it's like facebook.com/whatever, if you type it in, it comes up as not existing. So, like, I have it set on, like, you cannot find my Facebook unless you know somebody. Because I just don't, And even then, my picture on my regular Facebook isn't even anything incriminating. It's just a normal, I think it's like the picture from the Kinder bat shoot. So it's like, it's really not even anything incriminating, but I'd rather there'd be no way to connect me to Vampire Freaks or to and the thing is, like, I do some work for Vampire Freaks, and I was writing my resume, and I was talking to the owner of Vampire Freaks, and I was like, well, what can I do? How can I, because, like, the thing is, it is actually, what I do for Vampire Freaks is actually relevant to what I'm looking for a job for. And Vampire Freaks does have a corporate name. So yeah, like, it might be relevant, but it's just,
something you need to think about.
You really have to consider, and if, like, I was even thinking about maybe I should put a variation of the corporate name of Vampire Freaks so they still couldn't find it, but it's taking too much of a chance. And even like Cosplay Deviants, the word Cosplay Deviants is even not as, if you don't know what it is, you don't know what it is, but you just Google, and you just look it up, and it's like, yeah, your resume might not sound too bad if you say Cosplay Deviants, maybe in the word Deviants a little, but, it's like, anything that you can Google search that can come to something that's going to be incriminating, then you don't want that on your resume. And I mean, honestly, you don't want to write the word Vampire Freaks either.
In an ideal world, you can get a job that that you can be open about that stuff, and it will actually be of a benefit, not hurting you, and it'll actually be a reason to hire you. But you know, you feel what is appropriate for what. Like, I applied to some jobs for kink.com that I was like praying for because that would be so much fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, if
then
you're
I'd just be like,
applying
guess
for
what?
a job, if you're applying for a job that's relevant or that he's obviously not going to care for whatever reason, if you're applying to a tattoo shop or to a porn site or anything that's very liberal in itself.
You also don't want to limit your options too, especially in this job market. So.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't. You don't want anything that could possibly potentially hurt you. I mean, why? Why? If you need to get a job, you don't want to do something that's gonna hurt you. It's simple as that. I mean, you want to get rid of everything, and yes, it could possibly help you, but on the chance that it could hurt you, it's not. Because it could have the perfect job, and they could look at your resume and say everything in here is perfect. This is the perfect person for the position. But let me just Google what synth tech actually is. Oh, it's vampire freaks.
Yeah.
What does that mean, vampire
She's a freak?
freaks?
Does that mean she's into that? Is she some kind of kinky freak for the vampires?
Oh, and then you go to Vampire Freaks and you happen to be the featured member that day. Wow, that looks just like the girl that was in the or the model.
She's modeling in her underwear.
Wow, that's you don't know.
Then
what
I'd be like, I'm gonna hire her.
and as we know, I am a professional internet researcher, and I have these skills where I seem to be able to find anything on the internet. And if you have somebody like me, or if that was to become my actual job, you're not getting by me. Like, I'm gonna find it. If it's there, I'm gonna find it. And if there's anybody who's like me, you're not gonna get that job. And that sucks because it might be a perfect job for you, perfect salary, perfect everything, and you find that one stupid thing.
your own self on your own, which is in your own fucking business, then that'll affect your... So just, try to be able to separate those two things, and you're not a sellout because you're doing that. You just have to kind of compartmentalize your life, because that's what being an adult has to be sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, if you're making decent money, and you can go to more concerts, you can go to more shows, you can buy better clothes, you can still completely supplement your goth life better with you have a better job. And it sucks to have to change yourself, but we live in a world where not every person of everything is 100% accepted for the way they are, and it sucks.
And when you have a job, those tattoos that are really crappy that you're hiding, you can cover them up with even nicer tattoos that you can hide. But yeah, I mean, not everyone, it's not a perfect world, and in an ideal world we'd be able to, go to work like this, but these are just some tips.
Yeah, so
for today's corporate goth.
So we hope that you do a good job of being a corporate goth, and we hope you get a job if you need a job.
You need to be able to pull off the spectrum.
Yeah, like, you can't just walk around with any kind of attitude that sounds anything remotely close to, this is who I am, and this is who I'm gonna be, and take me or leave me. Well, then you can make no money, and you can, if you're one of those lucky few people who get to be exactly who you are and do exactly what you want, congratulations, that's wonderful, but I'd say 80% of people who are alternative are not going to have a job where they're going to get to be exactly who they want to be.
You have to find ways in which you can do both, or separate them. And I mean, even with like you're saying, even if you are super allowed to be however you want, you're going to then have a lot of prejudices against you in the professional world. Like, for instance, if there was a family that you were going to shoot, and you came with your hair dyed and a bunch of piercings in your face, they might assume some things about you, and you might lose your account. And you also then have to compensate by being extremely professional, more so than anyone else would. Like, you have to be on fucking point because you can't live up to those preconceptions.
And not only that, but then, if let's pretend that my photography business takes off, the way I'm going to get more clients is by referrals. Yeah. So if I go to a family who is a normal looking family and I shoot them, and one thing about me is just slightly too alternative to them, they're not going to tell any of their friends to go to me. I might have been the nicest person and given them the best pictures, but they might, if they're one of those people who just can't wrap their head around an alternative person, I could have potentially lost 5 clients or more than that, and because maybe they were going to introduce me to one more person, that person was going to introduce me to 10 people. You never know who you're going to meet, when you're going to meet them, and what's going to...
And, so in an ideal world, eventually you'll get to a point where you can pick and choose your clients, but in the beginning, we have to all be realistic.
Yep.
But
this is true.
I think we maybe are helpful to some people out there, maybe. I don't know.
Well, hopefully.
So,
if not, you just listen to us ramble about jobs, and so again...
It made us feel good.
Yeah, and just remember, and again, to all of our viewers here, just please understand our situations right now. Obviously, she just got a brand new job, and I'm potentially going to be very jobless soon, and our schedules are trying to match up as much as possible, because I think our brains would explode if we didn't see each other as often as we would like. So we will of course be doing the best possible
In
thing
the
that we
future.
can, and we're sorry that you had to watch us
Talk
drive
about
go-karts
jobs.
for 15
Oh
minutes.
yeah, the
last week.
go-karts.
But that was really fun though.
It was.
And
Oh, the summer memories. Wow.
and maybe we'll be back there. We'll be back there my birthday weekend. So in the
months.
in like 2.5 months we will make a really good better go-kart video that
Really
maybe we'll
good,
actually talk in, or maybe we'll do a bumper car video, or maybe we'll do a kayak.
And I won't have an extra lap around the and everyone will laugh at me because I didn't want to pay attention to them telling me the time to stop.
Well, you know what it was though? It was like the guy, there was nobody else there, and the guy was like, just go as long as you want. So we literally, they let us go for 15 minutes. It was supposed to be like 4 laps, and we did like 100 laps. So it was fun though, but you know, that's what you got to watch last week, because that other video that we've been working on is just...
cooking video, it's very big. That's what she said. Yeah.
It's an hour and a half of footage, and it's a lot of chopping, and any editing program I have used thus far just cannot handle it. So I'm still learning this video editing thing, and
I would help with the whole job.
yeah, and now that she's got a job, it's like now I come to the video that I can't handle on my own, and you have a job. So instead of the two of us sitting down together and being like, how do we do this? It's the folder's sitting there, and hopefully it'll get edited at some point, and then we will continue our other series. But yeah,
So now let's be totally unprofessional. Claire, carefully. No, it's okay. Alright, well, okay, that's it.
That's enough of us being
Bye.
corporate. We're gonna go back to normal us.